Malaysia and the Philippines to expand partnership during joint commission meeting. Employee compensation contributes more than 30% of GDP. Hello, good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight with me, Shuhaida Arifin. The Joint Commission meeting between Malaysia and the Philippines, scheduled to be held in Malaysia in October, is expected to witness several Memorandum of Understandings (MOUs) signed between both countries. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said both nations have outstanding MOUs which both heads of state have agreed to accelerate in finding ways to resolve and hopefully sign during the Commission meeting.
And finally, I think the issues that we relate upon is the issue of the joint commission that's going to meet towards the end of the year, and we have an outstanding MOUs which both of us have agreed to accelerate the process and where we should find ways to resolve and then hopefully sign prior to the or during the commission meeting.
He said this in a joint press conference with the President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in Putrajaya today. Meanwhile, President Marcos said the Joint Commission meeting will be an avenue for both government agencies to discuss in detail priority cooperation in various fields.
In the spirit of exploring synergies for future partnerships, we agreed to convene the next Philippine-Malaysia Joint Commission meeting in the near future. I believe the date that we decided upon was around sometime in October. We do this so that our government agencies will have an avenue to discuss priority cooperation in detail, most especially in the areas of transnational crimes, agriculture, halal industry, Islamic banking, education, tourism, and culture, sports, and the digital economy.
During the discussion with President Marcos earlier, Datuk Seri Anwar said both countries have discussed issues relating to the bilateral issues of trade investments, where there has been a slight increase in investments and trade. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the sinkhole near Bentong Toll Plaza at kilometre 66.1 of the Kuala Lumpur-Karak Highway was caused by the construction of the East Coast Rail Link ECRL underground tunnel. Public Works Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nanta Linggi said that repair work would be completed this evening and the route reopened by 7 p.m.
Saya agak puas hatilah kerana kerja-kerja remedial action dibuat dengan secara cepat. Puncanya peringkat awal ini sebab masih dalam siasatan. Peringkat awal kita difahamkan kerana pembinaan teruang di bawah, iaitu projek rel tu.
He said this to reporters after visiting the construction work X section of the West Coast Expressway today. Meanwhile, Malaysia Rail Link Sendirian Berhad, owner of the ECRL project today, said investigations into the real cause of the sinkhole were still ongoing. The Public Works Ministry also issued a statement today stating that a comprehensive investigation will be conducted as a long-term remedial measure. The investigation will be under the Malaysian Highway Authority with cooperation of all parties involved, and the area will be monitored continuously to detect any underground soil movement. The federal government has approved a proposal to upgrade the Klang Municipal Council MPK to a city council. Local Government Development Minister Ngah Koming said the decision reached at yesterday's cabinet meeting would make Klang the fourth city in Selangor after Subang Jaya, Shah Alam and Petaling Jaya. MPK was established in 1890 and has now met all the criteria for getting city status at the age of 133 years old. It is capable of providing excellent services and top-notch infrastructure facilities and public utilities to brand the city based on its unique heritage and history.
Juga dimaklumkan di mana Tuan Yang Maha Mulia Tuanku Sultan Selangor, Tuanku Sharafuddin telah berkenan dengan nama rasmi yang bakal dimasyurkan, diisytiharkan oleh Tuanku sendiri. Satu tarikh dan majlis pemasyuran akan dibuat mengikut ketetapan yang diperkenankan oleh Tuanku Sultan Selangor. Penaitarafan ini bermaksud Majlis Perbandaran Kelang mempunyai kekuatan kewangan yang mampan.
Nga said the ministry through its Sentuhan Kasih program had approved 21 projects worth 5 million ringgit to upgrade public facilities in the municipality. The projects will begin soon and are expected to be completed by the end of the year. Like Cambodian PM Hun Sen to step down after 4 decades. That and more coming up in our foreign segment. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen, one of the world's longest-serving leaders, today said he will resign and hand power to his eldest son after almost 4 decades of hardline rule. The former Khmer Rouge cadre has run the kingdom since 1985, eliminating all opposition to his power, with opposition parties banned, challengers forced to flee, and freedom of expression stifled. His Cambodian People's Party CPP won a landslide victory in an election on Sunday with no meaningful opposition, taking 82% of the vote, paving the way for a dynastic succession to his eldest son that some critics have compared to North Korea. Election authorities disqualified the only serious challenger, the Candlelight Party, on a technicality in advance of the election, and the CPP is expected to win all but 5 lower house seats. The government hailed the 84.6% voter turnout as evidence of the country's democratic maturity, but Western powers, including the United States and European Union, condemned the polls as neither free nor fair. Hun Sen said Hun Manet, a 45-year-old 4-star general, would take over as Prime Minister at the head of the new government on the evening of 22nd August. In his announcement today, he said he would become President of the Senate and act as head of state when the king is overseas. Greece was expecting scorching heat today as crews scrambled to douse deadly wildfires that have also struck nations around the Mediterranean. Thousands of people have evacuated as Greek authorities struggled against flames on 3 major fronts, including the tourist islands of Rhodes and Corfu. Fires have also flared in Croatia and Italy, and flames killed dozens of people in Algeria earlier in the week, with scorching heat leaving landscapes tinder dry. Scientists from the World Weather Attribution Group said this week the heat waves that have hit parts of Europe and North America this month would have been almost impossible without human-caused climate change. Temperatures are expected to hit between 43 to 45 degrees Celsius in central and south Greece, according to the National Meteorological Service. The Civil Protection Ministry, meanwhile, has warned of an extreme danger of a fire in 6 of the country's 13 regions today. Wildfires, which have been burning in several parts of the country for more than 10 days, were ravaging the tourist islands of Rhodes, Corfu, and Evia. In Algeria, at least 34 people have died as wildfires tore through residential areas, forcing mass evacuations. Coming up in sports, Ziyong stuns Kian Yu while Zija crashes out at the Japan Open. Now we begin sports with badminton. National men's single player Ng Zi Yong has successfully moved to the second round after creating an upset over former world champion Loh Kian Yew of Singapore in the first round of the Japan Open 2023 in Tokyo today. The unseeded Zi Yong took 41 minutes to send Kian Yew, 7-seeded, packing in the tournament held in Yoyogi First Gymnasium. Zi Yong will have a chance to slay another former world champion, Kento Momota from Japan, should he win against compatriot Koki Watanabe in another opening round tie. This was Zi Yong's second victory over Kian Yew following his rubber set win, 15-21, 21-14, 21-11 in the 2022 Commonwealth Games quarter-final. In the meantime, professional men's singles shuttler Lee Zijia endured his fourth straight opening round exit, this time at the hands of defending champion from Japan, Kenta Nishimoto, 22-20, 17-21, 19-21. Meanwhile, national men's doubles duo Goh Zifei Nur Izzuddin Rumsani earned the second round spot as they got the better of home duo Ayato Endo Yuta Take, 21-18, 21-15. 8 seeds Liu Yu Chen, Ui Xuan Yi await Zifei Nur Izzuddin next after the Chinese duo edge home pair Keiichiro Matsui, Yoshinori Takeuchi, 21-18, 25-23. Boyan Hodak today resigned as head coach of Kuala Lumpur City FC or KLCT after 2.5 seasons of guiding the team with the achievement of playing in 3 different finals and winning 1 title. The matter was announced by the City Boys squad through a post on their Facebook page this morning. Hodak, who was appointed head coach of KLCT in January 2021, managed to create his own history when he led the team to win the Malaysia Cup that season after defeating football powerhouse Johor Darul Takzim JDT. The 52-year-old Croatian also guided KLCT to the finals of the 2022 Asian Football Confederation AFC Cup and the 2023 FA Cup recently. In the Super League competition, KLCT finished the 2021 and 2022 campaigns in 6th place respectively, and after 17 games this season, KLCT are in 7th position with 25 points. Meanwhile, Indonesian League club Persib Bandung announced the arrival of the former manager of the national under-19 squad on their Facebook page after the farewell announcement made by KLCT. The Bukit Jalil National Stadium, synonymous with being the national football squad, Harimau Malaya's home ground and also a venue for concert, will from October also host school sports day events. In conjunction with the 25th anniversary of the Kuala Lumpur Sports City KLSC, Youth and Sports Minister Hannah Yeoh said the Malaysia Stadium Corporation PSM is allowing schools to make use of SNBJ for free for a period of 2 years, specifically to hold their sports day. She said the concept of popularizing sports among the masses through the use of PSM's facilities was agreed on 17 July, and among the decision is to allow school sports day events to be held at the National Stadium free of charge, subject to availability.
Saya percaya dengan kita berikan pengalaman ataupun pengalaman untuk kanak-kanak sekolah berlari atas track Stadium Nasional Bukit Jalil, dia akan bagi mereka inspirasi untuk menjadi atlet. Mereka tahu, oh, ini adalah pengalaman yang anda boleh rasai jika anda lari track stadium.
In addition to SNBJ, Hannah said PSM has also offered schools to use of the Jalan Duta Sports Complex and Bukit Kiara Sports Complex for free. As such, she invited schools to book the venue through PSM, which can be made starting from next month. Up next in our business segment, China central to resilience in global economic growth. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah has expressed his hope that the warm relationship enjoyed by Malaysia and the Philippines will continue to blossom for the mutual benefit of their peoples and nations. In his speech at a state banquet held in honor of visiting Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos, Sultan Abdullah said the Philippines is an important partner to Malaysia given the Philippines' close proximity and active involvement in ASEAN. Sultan Abdullah also said regular exchanges of high-level visits among leaders and officials of both countries will further contribute to a positive momentum in advancing the shared interest and addressing common challenges. His Majesty further noted that both countries must continue to work closely in promoting the region's stability, security, and in making ASEAN a dynamic regional organization.
It is our hope that Malaysia and the Philippines can expand their collaboration and partnership in the new and emerging areas such as agriculture, digital economy, and halal food industry.
In 2022, the Philippines was Malaysia's 15th largest trading partner globally and the 5th largest among the ASEAN member states, with total trade amounting to 41.45 billion ringgit, an increase of 20.1% compared to the recorded value in 2021. The compensation of employees in Malaysia grew 6.5% in 2022 and contributed 32.4% of the gross domestic product or GDP. In a statement released today following the release of statistics of Malaysia's gross domestic product income approach for the year 2022, the Department of Statistics Malaysia or DOSM said that Malaysia's 2022 GDP in nominal terms, valued at 1.79 trillion ringgit, increased 15.7% from 9.2% in the previous year. It said the statistics of income approach towards GDP were generated from the production in the economy, comprising three key components, namely compensation of employees (CE), gross operating surplus (GOS), and taxes less subsidies on production and import net taxes. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said the expansion in GDP was propelled by the higher performance in GOS compared to CE. The chief statistician said the CE component, which encompasses the remuneration received by employees for their labour services provided in the production of goods and services, was driven by the services and manufacturing sectors. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Dr. Muhammad Uzair said the services sector continued to be the largest contributor to the overall CE, amounting to 62.2%, followed by the manufacturing sector, which accounted for 24.1%. Day 3 Digital Berhad made an impressive debut on Bursa Malaysia's ACE market today, with its shares surging 170% to 65 cent per unit from its initial public offering IPO price of 30 cent. At the opening bell, the company saw 10.32 million shares transacted. Managing Director Raymond Devada said proceeds from the IPO would enable Day 3 to hire new regional talents to support its expansion.
It just makes sense to do a lot of this work out of Malaysia because of the costs, especially we're talking about, we go back to where's the demand for outsourcing coming from? A lot of this demand is coming from North America, coming out of UK, coming out of Australia. And when you look at these countries, it's always, in terms of cost arbitrage, it just makes sense to run the operations out of Malaysia at the moment.
He said this to reporters after the IPO listing ceremony today. Currently, 95% of the company's workforce are locals, servicing domestic clients in the energy, utilities, telecommunications, media, financial technology, fintech, financial services, and construction sectors. Malaysia's global business services GBS industry is projected to grow to 31.74 billion ringgit in 2027 from 24.79 billion ringgit currently, reflecting a compound annual growth rate of 6.3%. Palm oil industry players should utilize the advantages of technology as productive ways to manage operations, thus reducing or eliminating the dependence on cheap foreign labour. Malayan Agricultural Producers Association's MAPA outgoing president Datuk Muhammad Helmi Osman Bashar, who's also Samdabi Plantation SDP Group Managing Director and Malaysian Palm Oil Board Chairman, said the palm oil industry's dependence on foreign labour could be a costly mistake. In a statement today, he said that as recently as 2012, the government had set a minimum wage of 800 ringgit a month, and today it is 1,500 ringgit a month, nearly doubling in just 11 years. Dato' Muhammad Hilmi said that faced with challenges concerning employee welfare, the industry has no choice but to step up its game to find transformative solutions. Meanwhile, he called for greater collaboration and the sharing of ideas among stakeholders and urged all plantation companies to embrace change and foster innovation to shape a more sustainable and prosperous future for the palm oil industry. He added that SDP has announced that it aimed to have a 100% local workforce for its upstream operation in Malaysia by 2027, provided that a viable solution for mechanized or automated fresh fruit bunch harvesting is also achieved. Alliance Bank Malaysia Berhad is targeting an 8 to 10% loan growth for the financial year ending 31st March 2024, FY 2024 against FY 2023's 6.2%. Group Chief Executive Kalikam said the growth will be driven largely from core segments, which include small and medium enterprise SME and commercial business, where it expects a double-digit growth.
We should also see the corporate business back to positive loan growth for the year. So, in a nutshell, we do believe SME commercial will continue to perform at the double digits, right? So,
SME and consumer banking loans grew 13.1% and 5.2% respectively in FY 2023, contributing to higher overall loans growth momentum at 6.2% year-on-year YOY. The bank also went through a de-risking exercise on its corporate book. Hence, it should also see corporate business returning to positive loan growth for the year, with a total 8 to 10% for the full year. Kam also noted that the group allocated about 160 million ringgit in capital expenditure for FY 2024, the bulk of which will be allocated to speed up digitalization as well as information and technology transformation. To advance its growth target, he said, the bank is further innovating its services and solutions to meet business needs throughout their life cycle. Singapore's Economic Development Board EDB said the country's manufacturing output decreased 4.9% in June 2023 on a year-on-year basis. EDB, through a statement release, said excluding biomedical manufacturing output fell 5.2%. On a 3-month moving average basis, it said manufacturing output decreased 7.3% in June 2023 compared with a year ago. However, it said on a seasonally adjusted month-on-month basis, manufacturing output increased 5%. On performance by cluster, it said output for transport engineering increased 10.8% year-on-year in June 2023. It said the aerospace segment grew 16.7% due to higher demand for aircraft parts, as well as more maintenance, repair and overhaul MRO jobs from commercial airlines on the back of increased global air traffic. On a year-to-date basis, it said the output of the biomedical manufacturing cluster decreased by 2% compared with the same period last year. It added that for other clusters, the electronics output fell 2.9%, general manufacturing decreased 7.5%, chemicals output shed 8.6%, and precision engineering decreased 11.5% year-on-year in June 2023. A new IMF report indicates that the world economy is slowing but resilient, according to an economist from the fund's research department, who also stressed China's central role in keeping global growth afloat. Recently, the IMF released its latest World Economic Outlook, or WEO, which projected that global growth will fall from an estimated 3.5% in 2022 to 3.0% in 2023 and 2024. While the forecast for 2023 is modestly higher than predicted in the April 2023 WEO, it remains weak by historical standards. The report also said that the rise in central bank policy rates to fight inflation continues to weigh on economic activity. The report also indicated that China's growth will stay unchanged at 5.2% for 2023 and 4.5% for 2024, and these figures are in line with the country's own expectations, throwing cold water on a consistent flow of Western media reports that claim the Chinese economy is bound to slow down this year. Daniel Lay, the department's head, meanwhile highlighted China's role as a growth driver in the world economy and expressed his agreement with the report's confidence in its economy, pointing to the country's 5.5% growth in the first half of the year. The IMF economist added that China's effort to open up are a welcome move in the global context. On another note, an industry report released recently said China's cloud computing market is expected to exceed 1 trillion yuan by 2025. According to the white paper on cloud computing 2023 released by the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, China's cloud computing market is still in a period of rapid development with a compound annual growth rate of over 40%. Data from the report shows that in 2022, the global cloud computing industry stood at about 3.5 trillion yuan with a growth rate of 19%. It is expected that the market will remain stable, driven by increasing demand for large models and computing power, and the global cloud computing market will continue to enjoy a steady increase up to about 10 trillion yuan by 2026. According to the report, in 2022, China's cloud computing market will reach 455 billion yuan, an increase of 40.91% over 2021. From the perspective of manufacturers, the robust growth of operators is driving a new round of development in the cloud computing. Financial report data, meanwhile, also show that the cloud computing market of telecom operators grew rapidly in 2022. Tianyi Cloud, Mobile Cloud, and China Unicom Cloud reported growth rates exceeding 100%, far exceeding the national industry average. And that wraps up Malaysia Tonight. A reminder of our top story: Malaysia and the Philippines to expand partnership during Joint Commission meeting. I'm Shuhaida Arifin, Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan. Have a pleasant evening.